What's up, folks? Hey, right now in our industry, it's been crazy. Rates have ticked up a little bit. I have agents asking me like, how do you get business right now? What do you do to create deals? Questions like that. And I'm gonna be like Kim Kardashian for a second. People just don't want to work. People just don't want to work. No, I'm joking. The reality of it is that people work hard all the time. You know what I mean? Like in different fields, different jobs. You got people that don't make a shit ton of money, but they work hard. They work physically hard. You have some people that work mentally hard. They're reading crazy shit. I get it. Some people work 8 hours and it's a hard fucking 8 hours and they got to push out and go do what they got to do with their family and then they continue working there. So I'm never, ever going to question someone's work ethic because for each person, depending on what they're going through, it's totally different. And, hopefully everyone aims to push themselves to higher levels of success and more consistent work ethic. With that being said, this industry, right? Like our industry, I would say any industry that is business is sales, right? Like if you're in business, you're in sales. You're in a field, you're in a position that requires you to sell a product in order to create income, right? So for certain people, like my wife, she's an attorney. She works hella hard, but her job doesn't consist of going out and seeking clients and trying to convince people to move forward with you and things like that, right? So it's a little bit of a different type of effort that goes into it. With her effort is billing and like calculating every freaking moment that she's working so that her company can properly bill clients, and she has certain numbers to meet, and in an 8-hour day she may not necessarily be able to bill 8 hours. Lots of challenges. She works fucking hard. She works a lot of hours. So I respect everyone's grind out there. The difference in our field is like you can put in the hours, right? Like you can put in a full 40-hour work week. And that could possibly work for you depending on your skill set, depending on your prospecting efforts, depending on exactly what you're doing to go after business. If that's not working for you, a 40-hour work week, I'm not surprised. And the reason why is because in sales, a lot of times you got to put in more than 40 hours because if you are successful in sales, the income potential is just way higher than most fields, right? So it's one of those things where like in my job or in my position, I've moved away to a certain degree from focusing on originating loans, but there's a lot of money out there. There's a lot of money on the table. And I know a lot and I have a lot of clientele. So I'm still originating, I'm still focused on that. But I understand that when I go back into the mode of originating, trying to bring in new transactions, this isn't something that's a 9 to 5 type of scenario, right? I got to come in early before 9 so that, I have my moments of chill for just a second, outline my day, organize my day, and then hit the day hard, prospecting, putting a lot of time and effort, reaching out to clients, old clients, referrals, reaching out to new leads to create that new traction. And for me, the key, the magic always happens when I stay late past the 5, 6 p.m., past 7 o'clock. That's when that person that I called at 8 a.m. that told me to call them back later on that day, they end up being available. And obviously it's not an always scenario with each person or whatever the case is, but my point is that it's those long days that give you that full coverage. You're just available and active way more, right, out of that day. Now imagine you grind all day, you're pounding the phone from 9 to 12, 3 p.m., you're pounding the phone, whatever. You have a good 8-hour work day of just being very active, but you didn't get much progress from it. Maybe you just created traction, you left some messages, you got some appointments to call back. What do most people do at 5 and 6 p.m.? They're starting to check out. They're starting to think about going home. They're clocking out. And most loan officers are going to do that. Most real estate agents, most people in sales are going to stop at 5 or 6 and head home, right? What are your clients doing at 5 and 6? They're getting off of work. They're heading home to relax and chill. They're becoming more available, even though of course they're gonna have their life duties, their kids or things like that. but they're not working anymore. So even though I don't recommend only wait until after 5 to call people. No, you call and you contact all throughout the day. You're gonna have different people having different flows. Their availability will come at different times, but the key is to really get the value out of that time that you spend calling during the day, is to be available later on in the day for your clients, right? The time where all the other agents have started to stop calling, your clients have a little clarity, and you represent the person that's actually still grinding, still available, and you're able to answer some questions. So the key to success in sales and in business, to me, is time in. You got to put a lot of time in. I think as your skill grows, you'll have more productivity out of that time. Maybe you can scale back your time and just be more time efficient. But in order to kind of like, get around that learning curve, you got to hit more balls, right? Like if you're a person trying to learn how to bat a ball, right? Like to hit a baseball, then you probably want to spend some time at the batting cage with that shit just going and going and going, as opposed to, studying video of someone coaching you on how to play baseball. A good mix of both matters, but I think you're going to get to that success point quicker with the numbers, the amount of calls that you're making, the amount of people that you're talking to. And that's a challenge, you know what I mean? Like it's not like we're in an industry where people can make $100,000 in a month. There's loan officers that are making 7 figures in a year because they figured out the reality that, you can make a decent income on one transaction. And if you can figure out a system that gives you 10, 12 transactions a month, there's great money to be made in our industry. But a lot of people don't get past that hurdle of, trying to close transactions because they never overflow that effort. You have to overload the effort, to compensate for a lack of skill or a time frame where you're still new and you're trying to figure out your flow. Because some people, I think, I've been around guys, some of them are natural like salespeople. I say natural in the sense of like they are less emotional with their responses to people. They're less driven, or they're less deterred when someone doesn't do what they want or proceed with them the first transaction. They have more of a grind mentality where they're gonna just pound the phones. Like for some people that comes natural. For some people like myself, I don't think I was a natural salesperson. I was a natural hustler. I always wanted to make more money. I always wanted to put myself in the position where people were making money, and I was okay and happy to do the work. And I'm like, hey, I'll work more hours than anyone. The thing that was a challenge for me was the sales side of it. Kind of like persuading people and convincing people, because I was coming at it from that mentality. But I changed my mentality in regards to sales and just got more knowledgeable and took more of an advisory role, because I'm just way more confident in that type of communication, where I know what the hell I'm talking about. I got all the experience in the world in this industry, still learning, and I know how to look at your scenario and give you advice that makes sense and helps you accomplish your goals, right? So I don't have to, or I feel like I don't have to go with that sort of hard sales approach anymore. And I think that most people don't really have to have that hard sales approach. I think you just need to have knowledge in what you're doing that backs up your confidence when you're talking to a client who probably doesn't have nearly as much knowledge as you, and come up with a flow and a funnel that directs them from, the initial part of the conversation, gives them an idea of how you get to the close and the accomplishment of their goals, right? I am not a traditional, suit and tie salesperson by choice. You know what I mean? I've been in that field. I've been in that position before, where I'm going to work with a suit and tie. I'm reading scripts and things like that. And not to say it didn't work or whatever, but I've adjusted into a realm where I don't really feel like I need to wear a suit to show my expertise. I think that when I talk to clients and I start asking them the right questions and start giving them a little information on my background, that builds the confidence. And it's like, not everyone's gonna like you, not everyone's gonna work with you, not everyone's gonna wanna do a deal with you. I'm completely okay with that. But I'm gonna give myself the best shot with each client, and I'm gonna put myself in front of more people. Instead of just, like you try to sell to one person and they don't like you, you could be like, oh man, they don't like me. Or you can go and chop it up with another 10, 15 people and have people like, hey, this guy's really chill. You're integrating and meeting people that might work more with your personality. So work hard, like and subscribe to this video if it gave you some value, and increase your numbers and it'll increase your success. Thank you guys.